Welcome. Just going to do a full edit on this bird that I shot today. So I shot a sequence of this bird, the willy wagtail, and this is the image I've chosen to edit. And so you can see my settings up here. This ISO was 1000, and you can see there's actually not too much noise in the image, but we'll denoise that. There's no clipping in the image, but as I zoomed in, I can see there's just a little bit of a hot spot here, which we're going to just drop the exposure, and we're just going to put a mask on and paint the dropped exposure that I'm going to choose. A little bit of shadow, we can bring the shadows up. This color over here is, I could probably drop the saturation a little bit just to kind of bring a neutral background. Otherwise, maybe enhance the eye a little bit and a crop. That's what we're going to do. So first thing is I'm going to just check my color balance. I'm sliding the vibrance and saturation up, and I'm just sliding these back and forward. So just kind of want real neutral color. So, and I'm just bringing the magenta up just a tad. Kind of bring those by double clicking the vibrance saturation back to 0, and that's a lot better neutral color. So now I can come to my calibration channel, and I can come in and just start choosing the colors that I want. So I'm just pushing those colors. If you've got a color cast in your image and you don't correct it and you start pushing color, you're just going to enhance that color cast, and you can have too much blue or too warm or too green. So you want your whites to be white, your blacks to be black, and it actually looks sharper if you do your color balance correctly. All right, so that's that done. Go to detail. I'm going to hit the denoise. Take about 20 seconds just to go through that and just clean that little bit of noise up. Shot this at f8, and even though this focal length at 600, I've still got a fairly small depth of field. So having correct focus on your eye is important. Okay, so let's definitely clean that noise up a lot. So we could just do some basic sharpening, not too much. So maybe the radius down, and maybe, radius down. Just do those finer details. I'm just coming in, don't want to do too much. And we want to hit the Alt key and just mask, because I don't want the background. I just want that bird and the post that the bird was on just to be sharpened. All right. Okay, that's looking good. We could come in lens corrections. Let's just make sure they're on. And I'm pretty happy there. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to edit this into Photoshop. And the first thing we'll do, we're just going to target that highlight on that bird. So there's a couple of ways you could do that, but I like to do little targeted. Same as my landscape, I just look at it, a problem area or something that I need to adjust, and I just do small adjustments. So what we can do is zoom in, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate the image, and going to use, we could use curves, levels, brightness and contrast. We can come down here at the bottom and go brightness and contrast. And all I'm doing, I'm looking at this area here that I need to bring down. I'm not worried about the bird or down here because it's going to go dark. I'm just dropping that. I'm just looking at that area where I want to target this area here. All right, so there it is on that, and it's showing everything that I've done. But what I want to do is cover that with a black layer. So I'm going to hit the Control and I, which will invert that layer to a black. All that work I've done is now hidden in that brightness contrast layer. What I'm going to do, just grab my pen, and I want white paint, which is correct. The foreground color is white. Hit the B key for my brush, and 40% is fine. I'm going to come in and just paint that work I did on that contrast layer, just to bring that front of that bird back into a reasonable exposure. It looks a lot better now. I'm using a very soft brush up here. You can see my brush is hardness is 0. Okay, you can choose your brushes through here. Okay, so we turn that on and off. You can see just brought that bird back and done it a lot more justice. All right, so what we could do now is we could bring the shadow detail up, maybe just because there is some little fine detail in here. As I said, it's not blocked out, but we could come in, what we could do, brightness and contrast. We'll just come in and just see if that's the right tool. We could actually less contrast. Just bring that up a little bit. That looks good. And once again, Control I to fill that mask. White paint brush. Come in and just paint. You could come in here, maybe a smaller brush or your bracket keys. We could come in here, beak, just open that beak up a little bit. We could come in maybe the eye. We could turn that on and off. You can see the tail maybe, even though it's not, as I said, there's no locking up on that, but you just open those shadows up. And that looks good. Okay, another thing I'd like to do is once again and zoom into the eye, and just looking at the eye, I want to open that up. And that's fine. We're going to actually, once again, Control I, white paint, and let's just come in and just open that eye a little bit. Don't want to overdo it. We just open it up. Looks good. Turn that on and off. And you've got the opacity slider here. You can come in and slide that and just where you want that to go. That looks good. Okay. All right, this color over here, I just want to drop the saturation, just this color here. So what we can do, we'll come into Camera Raw. You get Camera Raw up in Filter and Camera Raw. And I want to go to my color mixer, hit the eyedropper, we can choose a color. Okay, and we can come in and just desaturate that color. Just kind of bring that, and we can add some luminance to that if you want. We can brighten that. And that looks good. Let's click OK. We might come into Camera Raw and put a little vignette on it. Okay. Right, let's flatten all that. If I'm happy, you can save this if you want to come back later and do your work, but look, I'm pretty ruthless. Let's just flatten it. And look, this file's close to 70 megapixels, so it's quite a lot. So we can come in and we can zoom in on this image here. We can really come in and let's put this bird onto the left side, looking nice space here to look into. You don't want to be on this side, doesn't look right. This side looks normal. Don't want to be too close with that post. Just give us some breathing space. And how much post do I want? Looks good, so let's just tick that. let's go back to Camera Raw. I'm also going to zoom in onto this eye here. I'm going to come back to here, come into the eye color, and maybe just add some saturation and some more luminance just to bring that eye up. Now I can see obviously brown, and it's round its beak, it's got some brown also, but I don't want to overdo that. We can click OK. And it's created a bit more brown down here, but once again, you can put a mask on it. So we can go the Alt key and the mask button will instantly put a black mask on. And I can zoom in with a white brush and come in and just paint in. Yeah, I'm not pushing any more brown up over here. Just take your time. We can turn that on and off. And it's just bringing some nice color to the eye. Okay, that's good. Let's just flatten that and come in back into Camera Raw. And why don't we come into the masking button at the top right here, and a couple of things you could do. Let's try the radial gradient. And let's just put a radial gradient around this bird. Maybe out there. And I'm going to drop the exposure, but I don't want to drop the exposure in the center. I want it to come from the outside in. So that's quite easy to do. On your mask, got three little dots there. Just come in and duplicate and invert the mask. So straight away it's coming from the outside in. So we can come now, drop our exposure down. And this is really where you want to go. You don't want too dark. Just to bring the viewer's eye to the main subject. And once again, we can come in and duplicate and invert that mask. So we've got three masks now. And I can come in and let's just rotate that mask on that bird. And we can just maybe increase the exposure a little bit more without blowing the highlights. Let's just drop those highlights. We can turn that on and off. Zoom in so you can see it. We could probably increase those blacks a little bit. All right, that's good. Here we could come back to our main menu here. We've got everything. Calibration, let's look, see if we can just color back into it. Like that timber here, it's got that kind of rustic look. All right, I'm happy with that. And yeah, so yeah, let's stop there. It looks pretty good. So hopefully that's helped somebody just do those little adjustments, targeted adjustments. Thanks for watching.